If you're having a serve, does that mean you're soft? You can't.
Johnny. I'm just going to go and sit under the well, there's no one there. 3 and there's none there, so I figure I might as well go and 3 for me. 3 what? Well, for a billion. A billion. Yeah, that's like the highest standard. Well, I think you're a billion with a no,
Welcome back to day 2 of the Macgibbon Shield final here at Baldwin Park between Trinity Willison and Northcote United. My name is Zach. I'm joined by Xander again. How are you going, Xander?
Look, I'm doing quite well, thank you very much, Zach. And I never thought I'd say it at any point this year, but day 2.
Day 2.
Day 2. 2-day cricket.
Feeling like back to normal in Melbourne for the first time in over a year.
Over a year. And the weather gods are shining down today. It looks fantastic outside, much better than yesterday.
It is. I got back to my car this morning and got out my bag and my jacket that we were wearing yesterday and had to wring it out. Still very wet.
Still wet.
We were sitting in the rain for a good 20 overs yesterday and they battled on until they came off in the 38th over. So where we're sitting at the game at the moment, Northcote United are 4 for 181. They have 13 balls left in their innings. And the big story was the late hitting by Fernando from Northcote, who bashed 39 off just 15 balls to put Northcote in a pretty good position here. They'd love something over 200. If they can keep these two in for the last couple of overs, they could be getting somewhere up towards 220, but Trinity will be looking for a wicket or two here to slow it down.
Yeah, and just in case you missed it yesterday, the last ball of the game, Fernando's decided to put all of his oomph into it and hit that ball. Quite frankly, I was told that there was a 6:15 session of the ball showing up at Baldwin Cinemas down the road, and had to find a new ball.
Yes, that ball was not recovered. So rumour has it was at Baldwin Cinema, but they've got a new ball for the rest of this innings. It should be dry today. The pitch, I went out there, we did a pitch inspection, Xander, and it did still look a little bit damp on the pitch, so it might still skid through a little bit, and that could help get the ball damaged in the second innings for Trinity.
As we prepare to resume, Mike Sparks will be bowling from the White Horse Road end with 1 ball left in the over.
1 ball left in the over. 5 on the boundary, deep point, the 2 straight and 2 on the leg side. And Fernando's gone again, and that is large. Over mid-on, it's gone at least 20 metres over the boundary for another 6, and that ends the 38th over. Big start for the day.
That is emphasis on big there. I think what initially the plan would have been, perhaps the gap between the batting performance would have, maybe helped the batsman switch off, and maybe Trinity Willison could have capitalised on that. But I think with the rain and the break in play coming so late in the day, I think now they're just going to have to think that they're going to swing at every ball.
Yeah, and that ominous for the last 2 overs there. Fernando, first ball of the new day, and he has hit that cleanly and for a massive 6. So there's still 12 balls left in this innings, and Northcote could still do some damage here. We've got captain Jake Barker finishing his spell from the Neil Donaldson end. They're going to have all 5 men allowed out on the boundary. They've got a 3rd man, a deep cover point, a long off and long on, and a cow corner. What would the plan be here, Xander? Where do you think Jake will be looking to bowl?
Look, I think you just have to go for the wide Yorkers. Try and restrict as many runs as you can here.
Yeah, for sure. They've got those 2 men out on the offside plus long off.
And that is wonderful. That's well bowled. That is the plan here. The plan will be try and keep Fernando off strike and try to minimise as many runs as possible.
Yeah, that was probably shorter than I was expecting, and the captain, Blackmore Moore, came charging down the pitch, but he couldn't connect. He'll just be looking for a single here to get Fernando back on strike, because he could do some real damage.
As Jake turns around, gets ready to charge back in here.
That is a great shot over backwards square leg. Probably not where Jake was looking to pitch it there, and Blackmore Moore's got all of it. This is concerning for Trinity.
It is concerning, but at the same time, this is showing the Trinity Willison batsmen kind of what they're able to do with these conditions.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking at this and knowing that they can make it up late if they build themselves a platform. But this is some mighty fine hitting here.
And there is a fuller one, and that might just race away to the boundary as
Nick Sparks has gone sliding into the fence there from square leg. He put all his effort in stopping it. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to, and there's another 4 to Northcote. Does that bring up their 200? Not quite, 197. That square leg issue that we had in Jake's over, the last one yesterday, is coming up again, and the change is finally being made. The square leg's going back on the boundary. And third man coming up.
As Matt Veach moves around as well from his point region to be a bit squarer as Jake comes into bowl.
And a dot ball there. Every ball that's a dot now is huge. And keeping Fernando off strike. This is going to be a big last over though. Fernando looks like he'll be there. He's got 45 off 16. It's been a huge last couple of overs for Northcote. They put on 50 in about 3 overs. Some massive hitting.
As Jake comes into bowl again. Bowls it Fuller. And he's really well bowled there. With Blackwell Moore, the captain, coming down the wicket. And they get through for a leg bye.
Much better ball that one. Really full up in the block hole. Can only get a single. Brings Fernando on strike, and Trinity would love a dot ball here to keep Fernando off strike for the last over.
They would, and I think if you're Fernando here, I think he's just going to swing for it.
Absolutely. Big 6 here, he'd take that off the last ball. It's well bowled by Jake, full outside off. Well driven, past cover to Tim McKenna at long off, and they come back for 2 runs, and that ends the 39th over, and Northcote bring up their 200 run score. 4 for 200 off 39 overs, 1 to go.
I think we might see a change in the bowling from the White Horse Road, and Tom Clark will be coming on to bowl the last over of the first innings.
Yeah, plan will be to nip it across, keep it as wide as possible inside that wide line on the offside, and make these 2 batsmen hit it through the offside. He won't want to be getting anything straight that can be hit away onto the leg side.
Yeah, I think execution here is going to be really important.
So point is back on the boundary with long off, long on, cow and deep square leg. There's a short third man and short fine leg. 1 at cover and 1 at mid wicket. Tom's going to have to really hit his spot here, otherwise could get away from them again. Anything less than 10 off this over would probably be a good result at this stage. Short and wide, that one. Hit away into the offside, but Tim McKenna picks it up and just the single. But that brings Fernando back on strike.
It does bring Fernando on strike here. What do you think the plan is here now to bowl to Fernando in this final over?
Yeah, full and as wide as possible outside off without being a wide. If he's good enough to hit it over the offside in the air, then fair credit to him, but he won't want to give him anything in the arc.
And again, we saw that yesterday as well. He did try that ramp shot.
He did. It's probably not what I'd be going for. He's such a good hitter of the ball straight and square that I don't think he needs to resort to those tactics, but with both fine leg and third man up, there is a big gap behind the wicket keeper.
That is very well bowled by Tom Clark again. His execution's beautiful here. That is fantastic bowling, isn't it?
What's that line that we wanted? It's a little bit shorter than I was expecting, but to cause 2 misses in a row, that's really good for Trinity. If they can get away these last couple of balls here, it'll give them some momentum going into their batting innings. And that one's fuller and just a little bit straighter and bunted down the ground for 2 runs. Well fielded by Jack Graves. Another one, they've stopped the boundary, they'd be happy with that.
They will be happy with that. And Fernando using his feet there to get further towards the line of the ball. Gets back for 2.
And he's one big shot away from a 50 here. This has been a fantastic innings.
Well bowled again there by Tom. Fantastic there by him.
Yeah, that was a big swing. The head was up in the clouds there and he couldn't connect. That's what's good about that wider line, is when you try to drag it onto the leg side there, it can get away from you, and he's missed that one again.
It really can, and just fantastic execution again by Tom Clark here, bowling around the wicket as well to change that angle up. And we're seeing a change in the field. The captain, Jake Barker, coming out from deep square and pushing out Mike Sparks to deep cover on the boundary.
A little bit risky here. I think we might see Fernando walk across the stumps here. He's hit it high. It's going close to the boundary, and it's gone over Jack Graves' head for 6 runs and a 50 in a grand final to Fernando. Big finish, but overall that was a pretty good over.
It was a very good over. Again, I think Trinity Willison will be happy with that over as well. Really restricted the runs there, really well bowled, really good execution. And it's time for them to chase.
It was, but Fabian Fernando, the hero of the first innings, 55 not out off just 22 balls with 3 4s and 5 6s. He's really changed the course of this game. Car horns are blasting behind us. And to win this Macgibbon Shield Grand Final, Trinity Willison are going to need 210 runs off their 40 overs.
All right, and welcome back to the second innings of the grand final for the Macgibbon Shield. Northcote posting 209 runs, Zach. There's a lot of runs there.
It is a lot of runs. It's going to be a big chase. The boys are going to have to be at their best here to come home. They can do it. They've got the batting. These two put on 124 last week, didn't lose a wicket. Mike Sparks has been the best batsman this year. Matty Veach has been probably the most consistent. And then that strong hitting middle order of Eddie Thwaites, Sam Jordan and Dave McKenna. And then everyone in the tail can bat. So they really do bat to 11 today, but they will have to be at their best.
Yeah, and I think this game that we're about to see, this chase we're about to see, is really going to show us why this is the top grade of cricket.
Yeah, well, it's all to play for, and it's the team that executes the best in this next 40 overs. I've got to say, I'm pretty nervous. This is sort of the last piece of the puzzle for Trinity Willison. 2s, 3s and 4s have all won flags in the last couple of years and got themselves into higher grades, and boys in the ones have worked really hard to get to this position, and you know, we desperately want for them to bring it home today, but it's all in front of them here in the batting innings.
I believe fresh off his superstar knock towards the end there, Fernando will be opening from the Neil Donaldson stand end.
Yes, and Nick Sparks will face the first ball. He's having a look at the field. There's just 2 on the leg side. There's a mid-on and a square leg, and then a strong offside field with 2 slips and a gully. Fernando starts with a back of a length ball, outside off that's left. He bowls fast, he bowls quite short, and he swings it away.
Sounds like a batter's dream or nightmare, depending on how you like to bat. I'm sure you'd enjoy those coming back into you.
Pass, thanks. Bit too quick for me.
I'd step on my stumps after the first ball. As Fernando comes in again.
Getting real good carry here. That is going through to the keeper at head height. He's going to be hard to score off today on this pitch.
He's going to be hard to score off on this pitch, but as we talked about yesterday, a lot of these batsmen did bat on the original frog collar pitch, which was quite bouncy.
They've also been out to Northcote this year, probably the bounciest deck in the league. So they are used to playing these boys on decks with a bit of bounce, so they won't be afraid of it.
As Nick guides that one towards point for a dot. Look, I really do think this is anyone's game, especially with the amount of talent in this one side for Trinity Willison.
Yeah, all 11 players are match winners in their own way, and that's what's really good about this club. No one gets paid to come and dominate games. We rely on every one of the 11 players playing to do a job. That one's short, outside off, and Nick has a flash at it but can't connect, probably for the best in the end.
You can still hear the squelching as well as the bowler's throttling in.
Yeah, the pitch report that we did at the start, there was still a little bit of moisture in it, so to be honest, we're hoping that the ball gets a little bit wet and stops swinging around pretty early. That one's fuller and the leading edge, but stays along the ground there and stopped by cover. The Northcote Hill already have a few things to say. They were getting up and about yesterday, and after that little 13-ball batting innings there, they are feeling pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, I think they are, and they've cracked into the liquid as well quite early as Fernando comes into bowl, and it is outside of stump, well left by Nick Sparks, and that is a cheetah teamwear maiden to start. We'll check the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. The score is 0 for 0 after 1 over.
So 1 over down in this run chase. We're waiting for my cricket to tell us, but I think this might be Doyle opening from the White Horse Road end. He's a tall man.
He is quite a tall man, and with the extra bounce in the pitch as well, you see a lot of these balls getting up, but I think that Trinity Willison boys will have a look early, and then they'll decide which balls they want to punish and hit towards the boundary for a couple of bad shepherd boundaries.
Yeah, I think they will have come into this planning to see the new ball off, do nothing silly early and get themselves in this innings and get themselves a platform. That has gone a long way up off the pitch. Wow.
Wowee. We've seen that trampoline from where we are.
That is a lot more bounce than any of the Trinity bowlers were getting. I'm scared.
Well, to quote you, he is quite a tall man.
Yeah, I think that extra height's really helping here, banging the ball into the pitch, and it's really jumping off it.
As Doyle turns around, bowling to Jack.
And that one's too wide there, and Trinity are on the board in the run chase. Just 210 more of those would be nice, Ando.
They would be nice, but with a quality bowling side such as Northcote, I don't know if they will let themselves give us that many extras, Zach.
No, that's why they're in the Macgibbon Grand Final. They're not going to give too many of those extras today. I'm expecting some good bowling here, and the Trinity boys are going to have to be on top of their game.
Fantastic leave again there by Jack Graves. It's just really good cricket so far.
Yeah, it looks like it's shaping away a little bit, getting bounced off the pitch. I wouldn't be trying to hit them if I had a door at the moment. I think let them through the keeper. Try to make them back later in the innings when the ball gets a bit softer and isn't bouncing quite as high.
Thank you for your insight. Seems very responsible as Doyle comes into bowl. That one yet again, just the same kind of area. It's bouncing up. Really good batting by Jack. There's no point swinging at that, is there?
No, nothing good is going to come from a shot off those balls at the moment. It's a really good length, particularly with the bounce. And any sort of shot to that at the moment is just going to be a slash. And I think early in this innings, the first 10 overs, these two are going to be quite conservative and try and get through it and really give their middle order a chance a bit later when it gets a bit easier to bat.
As Jack has to think about that one and decides to leave it. It's probably the right decision there. Gee, I can't believe this bounce. There's a lot of bounce here.
Yeah, it's like a different game to the first innings. Ball's hard, and we're really seeing that bounce that we talked about yesterday that we didn't see. The pitch was very wet yesterday. The ball would have turned into a sponge pretty early and meant it stayed low, but with this brand new ball, the bounce that they're getting is incredible.
As Doyle comes into bowl again. That one a little bit closer to Jack that time, and that has been left straight to the keeper. And to check the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the score is 0 for 1 off 2, with the extra being the leading run scorer so far.
So Fabian Fernando to continue from the Neil Donaldson stand end. Both these players that are bowling here are getting a lot of bounce. We're going to keep saying it because it's really, we're at ground level here and you can really see how far it's coming off that pitch.
Yeah, that one they're carrying through again to the head of the keeper.
I think the Trinity boys will be pretty happy to leave on length at this stage. There doesn't seem to be any variability to the bounce, which is one good sign. Really good area here from Fernando. Nice cautious start here by Jack and Nick. seeing off these first few overs where the balls are most dangerous. And that one has seamed and hit the edge of Nick Sparks' bat, and it's just fallen short of gully. Not far away at all.
No, not far off there at all. However, I think that's nice soft hands. That is batting number one. Always have those soft hands.
Yeah, it was well controlled in the end. That really could have gone anywhere. He did a really good job to just keep it down enough that it didn't go to hand. And there's the big get-out shot.
That's what we have been talking about there. It's really going to be testing the patience here, but I do think you're right. Trinity Willison batsmen here need to just get these overs done, these early overs done, and help their middle order, as you were saying. There is a lot of depth to this batting side, so it will get easier as the ball does get softer and as the game gets easier.
A few words of advice from the Northcote boys on the hill about that shot. This is some seriously good bowling so far. Fast, just back of a length. I'm pretty glad I'm not out there at the moment. He'd be making me look silly. Nick's doing a good job to keep hold of it. That one's a bit fuller and driven away through the offside. It's not quite going to make the boundary, but they come back for 2 runs. That's a nice way to get off the mark for Nick Sparks. Really good shot.
Yeah, it was really good there, and I think we are seeing the difference to even yesterday. That one seemed to race just a little bit more than how we saw it yesterday, and that is the end of the over as we check the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and the score would be 0 for 3 off of 3.
Doyle to continue. That one's a bit fuller and leading edge, but it's gone through cover. It's beaten the fielders, and that's 2 runs to get off the mark by Jack. The ball's moving around out there.
The ball is moving around out there quite a lot. And as you've said many times, it is going to be these first 10 overs. If Trinity Willison, if their openers can see through these 10 overs, then it's going to make it so much easier for the rest of the day, for the rest of the batsmen in the side.
So a bit of luck there for Jack. I think everyone here barracking for Trinity had their heart in their mouth, but he just got enough on it to get it over cover. That one's softer hands, guided towards gully, and it's just fallen short. Jack living dangerously at the moment.
He's living quite dangerously there. A lot of action happening here.
The most important thing though is he's hanging in there. This will be the hardest part of the game. Just got to do his best to stay in as long as possible.
Still charging into Jack.
It's another beautiful ball there. That length is perfect and really forced Jack to play a shot there, and he just didn't edge it, and it's gone through the keeper. This has been a brilliant over here from Doyle so far.
As we've discussed many times, it's all about execution. Right now, the Northcote bowlers are executing to a T. Doyle charges in again. And again, the same kind of ball, same kind of result. Fantastic bowling, but good from Jack there as well to get the bat out of the way there.
That's an incredible ball. I'm still bewildered by how much it's bouncing off this pitch at the moment. It looks incredibly difficult to bat on. I'm very much hoping it gets easier quickly, because at the moment Northcote are bowling perfect areas. that one's hit the body. Northcote boys have come in around Jack. I can only imagine what he's copping out there at the moment. They do love a chat, these Northcote boys.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be asking about his well-being there. But Jack has worn that quite well. I think I would have been down. I would have motioned for someone to call the ambulance.
It was probably the right shot, to be honest. There's only two on the leg side. Try to help it around the corner, but that one didn't look like it bounced quite as much, and it's hit him in the body. That is brilliantly executed, that over. It finishes the fourth over. Trinity are none for 5 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. But real ominous signs here early. The bowling from Northcote has been spot on.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really good battle today. I think this opening stance is going to make or break the game.
Most important thing at this stage is that Trinity are no wickets down. There's basically been no chance for them to score off almost all of these balls so far. They've been in a perfect area, getting real bounce off this deck. So just the fact that they've survived so far, I'd say that's a really good positive start for Trinity. Big appeal there for caught behind. Nick flashed at one outside off. All of the slips in the bowler went up, but the umpire is unmoved. I didn't hear anything there, Xander.
No, that one from my angle looked like it went straight through the gate there.
Nothing.
I think it was the right call in the end. Worth a shout though.
Got to ask the question.
It's Fernando again, and that is well bowled, and Nick leaves that. It's just really good bowling.
It is really good bowling, and I think Nick's just got to be careful here. He's just got to stay within himself for a bit. Those big drives outside off with this bounce probably are going to be pretty difficult to execute at this stage.
And we have one fielder outside the ring, and that is a wide third man. As Fernando bowls it again. In a really good spot, and Nick gets the bat out of the way for another dot.
As we have a look around the grounds here in the Burt Shield final, Burwood Uniting Canterbury put on just 74 yesterday. Mount Waverley, they lost 2 early wickets. They were 2 for 10, but they've steadied slightly here. They're 2 for 21. The winner of that game will join these two sides in Macgibbon next year.
That one a little bit shorter, a little bit wider. Well left by Nick. Yeah, we're looking at the best of the best here today. So the winner of that grand final, they're going to have their work cut out for them next year in Macgibbon.
Yes, if Mount Waverley gets through, they finish 3rd. I think it'll be very tough for them in Macgibbon if they get through, but you know, if they win this grand final, they'll deserve to be there.
As that is really well fielded there in cover after a lovely shot by Nick. And they get through for a single.
Yeah, that was a beautiful shot, but it was really well fielded by the Northcote fielder at cover there. Probably saved a boundary that was middled, and he dived to his left and saved a 4.
And now Jack's going to have a look at Fernando.
That was a nice shot by Nick though. A couple of ones that Fernando's pitched up. Nick's been onto with those drives, and he's managed to get some runs. So as this ball gets a bit softer and doesn't bounce quite as much, if he's still there, he could cause some damage later.
And that one is carried through to the keeper. And that is the end of the over. As we look at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the score currently is 0 for 6 off 5.
That last ball over there to Jack. Jack is copping some absolute rip snorters at the moment. First from Doyle, and then that last ball over particularly jumped up more than the ones that Nick had faced the last couple of balls. Jack's done a sensational job so far just to still be there.
Yeah, he really has. And they're not making it easy for him out there or for any of the batsmen out there. And I think this is where we're going to see the class of these two batsmen shine.
So Doyle is coming back in from the Whitehorse Road end. I think this is the first time that the batsman might have swapped ends. This might be Nick's first look at Doyle here.
Doyle runs in. Same kind of area yet again for a dot. I'd like to say this ground looks a whole lot better than it did yesterday when it was surrounded with cloud coverage. It's quite a beautiful scenic oval that was.
Yes, the sun's popped out. It's funny, it's typical Melbourne. One minute you think it might rain, the next minute you think you might get sunburnt.
Doyle pitches one up, bowls it a little bit straighter, and Nick plays that to cover. I'd like to make an observation, Zach, if I may. Now, this is a neutral ground. However, it feels like this neutral ground has elements of both of these teams' home grounds. So it feels like it really is the perfect ground for this Macgibbon final, isn't it?
I agree. It's a similar looking pitch to Frog Hollow, but it's got more of the characteristics of the bounce at Alphington at Northcote's home ground. And that square boundary is a little bit shorter than the straight boundary, so it has a little bit of a Frog Hollow feel to it. It's obviously bigger than Frog Hollow, but I think you're right, Xander. They've picked the perfect ground for these two teams. It really is a very neutral ground.
As Nick Sparks leaves that one, unless the keeper grabbed that. Doyle charging in. And Nick has to pull out the last second there as a butterfly flies right into his eye there.
Yeah, that disrupts the Northcote crowd. They weren't too happy with that, but it was clear that a butterfly came across right at that time, and you don't want that happening with someone charging in, bowling fast, bouncy pace.
Doyle charging in again. And that's well bowled and well left yet again. Brilliant execution here from the Northcote bowlers.
It's been an incredible start. They've really hit their areas here. It looks incredibly difficult to score. I don't envy these two batsmen now. They've got the toughest job in the game, trying to get through this new ball on this bouncy deck. So far, so good.
So that one a little bit straighter, still the same kind of length, and it is to the same result of another dot. I think these two batsmen are really letting their intentions be known. They want to get their eye in. They want to see off this opening pair.
Yeah, Nick's done well this over. He's put away that big drive and he's just leaving those ones back of a length. He's adjusted well here. That one's very wide, almost off the pitch. Well left by Nick, and they get another run on the scoreboard, another extra. Trinity will take every one they can of those today.
Yeah, from here it looked like Doyle was trying something a little bit different there. But it did not work as I'm sure he intended.
Oh my. And that is the first wicket. Unfortunately, Nick Sparks has gone for a big shot there and he's just feathered it through to the keeper. And Trinity lose their first wicket. Unfortunately, Nick Sparks has been caught behind.
Yeah, there is a Tree Company wicket there, and I think you can hear the Northcote fans through the mics perhaps, with a couple of send-offs. Uncalled for mine.
It's a little bit disappointing, but that's cricket. They're here to watch their team, support their team, and they're pretty happy with that first wicket. Nick Sparks falls for 3, and on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard it is 1 for 7 after 6 overs.
That tree company wicket, we see Mike Sparks, Nick's brother, entering the Gladiator Arena.
Yes, this is obviously a huge innings for Michael P. Sparks. He's had a great year for Trinity. Can he cap it off with a score in the grand final? He's made 567 runs at 44 this year. They're going to need him today. Another plane missed by Jack. Fernando's got it on a string at the moment. Jack's doing a great job just to hang in there.
I think even yesterday, Trinity Willison in these early overs, their bowling was quite well. However, the difference was the Northcote batsmen early were trying to capitalise as many singles as possible. But as you said, it is a completely different game as Fernando comes in again. Jack, play and miss. He's gone for that drive. If he connects on that drive, I've seen it many times, it usually goes for 4.
It does, but with this bounce and that length, it's a very tough shot to execute. He's lucky he didn't get a little feather on that one. It's looking incredibly hard to bat out there at the moment. These Northcote boys have really hit their lengths and putting the Trinity batsmen under real pressure here.
Fernando charges in again. Puts one a little bit shorter. I think it is that bounce. As you were saying, that bounce again is just, it's hard to score off.
Yeah, you can tell that Jack's struggling a little bit here. It's not fun, wouldn't be fun to be out there. Is that the keepers walk right up to the stumps to have a chat with Jack there. I thought he was coming up to the stumps to keep to Fernando, but that wouldn't have been very smart.
No. And that one, a slower ball. It drops just short of the fielder there at mid-on.
Jack's hanging in there. Very difficult so far. Another brilliant ball. I've never seen a spell of bowling like this, Sander. This is next level.
This is next level. This is breathtaking, this bowling performance right now. I have dreams of bowling, and I don't even bowl this well in my dreams. You can hear some of that chat. You're never going to win the toss and bowl again coming through. They're really trying to get in the heads of the Trinity Willison batsmen here.
Yeah, and they're pretty good at it.
And Jack hits that beautifully. There is no fine leg, and that will be the first bound. That is gone for 4, yes. That'll be the first bad shepherd boundary of Trinity Willison's innings here.
Yeah, it was a nice shot there. Off the pads by Jack. He's got it down to fine leg for 4 runs. It didn't get there too easily. It doesn't look like the outfielder's travelling that fast, but just enough to get to the boundary.
Yes, and that was the first loose ball there by Fernando. He's bowled really well so far. And as we look at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, the score currently is 1 for 11 after 7 overs. As we have club legend JB walking past and helping me out with the Bendigo Bank scoreboard announcement there.
So here's probably one of the biggest moments in day 2 of this Macgibbon Shield Grand Final. The premier batsman of the comp this year, Michael P. Sparks, to face his first ball. They're going to need some runs from him today. I'm sure he's feeling the pressure. He knows how big an impact he could have on this grand final if he can get going. But he's going to he's going to face a really tough early stint here from Doyle and Fernando. They're bowling great areas. And that one, first ball is hit away through mid-wicket by Mike. There's no one there. It was in the air for a little bit of time, but no one looked like catching it, and Mike's got himself off the mark first ball. That one was full on the pads. Not sure if Mike would have been expecting that, and he did a good job there to get it away. Their forward square leg's just gone around now into a more regulation mid-wicket position for Jack. And Jack trying to capitalise on that bounce there. He's trying to hoik it around the corner with the big gap at square leg and fine leg, but he can't connect. Lot to say, these Northcote boys, they're all walking in and chatting. He's still there though, Xander.
Yeah, he's still there, and knowing Jack as well as I do, he's not going to give in to any of this. He will be relishing the opportunity to have this battle. He gets ready to face Doyle.
This is some super bowling. That one a little bit fuller, but with that bounce, it's almost unplayable.
If I was a batsman, this would be adding to the nightmare fuel. To have diamond ducks, golden ducks, hit wickets, and facing this bowling attack.
Yeah, it doesn't look fun out there at the moment. These Northcote boys have come to play. That one's straighter and a little bit shorter, and Jack manages to defend it down into the offside. Might have just hit him, I'm not sure, but he's done a good job to keep it down. It's all happening out there at the moment.
Yeah, it really is all batting. Apologies. It really is all happening out there, and it is a battle. That's all this is. Both teams have come to play.
Yeah, to be honest, the Trinity boys have done a really good job to just lose the one wicket. That bounce is incredible. I think that's the right shot there by Jack with that bounce, is to try and get it away on the leg side. It's unlikely that an edge there is going to go straight to a fielder. It will probably fly over the top. I don't mind the shot, but he just can't quite connect at the moment.
No, it is all about this bounce. You've got to think at what point do you reckon it takes for the batsman to adjust to this bounce? I know I wouldn't have adjusted, and I'd already be in the sheds. So that one is fuller, and we see another Tree Company wicket there with Jack Graves bowled.
Yeah, after digging those ones in, he's gone with the fuller one, and unfortunately it's got through there and it's knocked over Jack Graves. These Northcote boys up on the hill have some pretty nice things to say. Xander, the batsmen, they're walking off. It's not quite in the spirit of cricket, but it's their right. They've come to the cricket. They're enjoying it. And that's Trinity's second wicket gone.
Yeah, now if you're the captain of Northcote, you've got to have a think. Do you want to keep these guys bowling early to try and do as much damage as you can early and use all their overs, or do you want to save some for the middle to late? If Trinity Willison, with their batting, if they're able to rally.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't take these two off at the moment. This is the most dangerous period with the ball, and while that bounce and that movement is happening off the pitch, I'd keep going with them. This is Northcote's chance here. If they can, get 2 or 3 more wickets, the game is almost out of Trinity's reach. So I wouldn't be changing anything just now. So we've got 2 new batsmen here. Mike Sparks is on one, and he's joined by Matthew J. Veach at the non-striker's end. Again, it was the last ball of the over wicket there for Doyle. Well defended.
Apologies to cut you off there, but Fernando with the fuller one. They really have made the best use of the conditions that have been presented to them today. And again, as you said many times, it does feel like a completely different pitch.
Yeah, for sure. This hard ball that's nowhere near as wet as yesterday. It was skidding on nicely yesterday, and it's these two bowlers are making it look very difficult. But that is a beautiful shot, driven through the covers by Mike Sparks, away for a bad shepherd boundary. That is a lovely shot.
That is a fantastic shot. I do love seeing that shot. Even when I bowl to him and he plays that shot, I love to see it. And he gets his first boundary in the grand final.
He does, and it has actually forced a change in the field already. Wide, third man has gone around to what looks like a deep point. And that one is fuller and defended away to backward point.
Yeah, right on the block hole there.
This is Mike's big opportunity here in the grand final to put his foot down, really show what he's made of. He's off to a good start. He got off the mark first ball and then a lovely cover drive through the boundaries.
Fernando charges in. They've gone up for it. I think bat first.
I would have thought middle of the bat first.
Yes. But you never know. As we said many times, you never do know.
Mike looking very tuned in at the moment. They're going to need a rebuilding partnership here, Mike and Matt.
Eminem.
That was a bit shorter. Mike's tried to defend it. Can't get anything on it. Goes through the keeper. Fernando's in his 5th over here. He's gone for 11 with just the one cheated team win maiden, but she's looked pretty fiery, pretty feisty. That one's a little bit fuller and defended away by Mike to backward point, and that ends the 9th over as we look at the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Trinity Willison 2 for 16, chasing 210 for victory. So we have a family connection in this one.
Yeah, we do, and I think whatever happens today, well, it'll be awkward around Christmas time.
It will be with Doyle, the cousin of Matt Veach. They'll be bowling and batting together here. Bragging rights are on the table here. Who is going to take them?
Yeah, and I think at the next family reunion, well, one of them will be wearing a finals medal. I know I'd be milking it.
Good start by Matt there, defends it away comfortably onto the leg side. That's been the real rock in the middle order for Trinity this year. He's got going in a lot of games. He's made 283 runs with an average of over 28. No 50s so far this year, though he'd love to get one today.
Yeah, I'm sure he would as he prepares to face up again. And it's that bounce. The bounce has gotten up there, but that has been well guided towards the point region for 0 runs.
Yeah, he's staying back a bit here and playing it late under the eye. With a straight bat, I think that's the way to go here to get through this first spell.
As Doyle prepares to charge in again. Lovely ball and well played again there by Matt. Protecting that straighter one now. Not as much bounce in that ball either.
Maybe starting to soften. This could be the opportunity.
He's bowled a fantastic spell so far.
He has. He's got their team off to a great start with 2 wickets. Love to get another one here. He's in again. That bounce is incredible again. It's just gone across Matt, and he's managed to get out of the way of it for another dot.
Is cricket usually a batsman's game or a bowler's game?
Well, I think it depends, but I think today it's looking like a bowler's game. Yesterday with the rain around, that skiddy ball coming on the bat nicely, probably a batsman's game, but we've turned up today and it's completely different.
Yeah, we have, and that is another well-bowled bowl there, and well played by Matt Veach there. Fantastic there. As he looks to rebuild and start a partnership here with Mike Sparks.
Yeah, he started looking very solid. He's getting back and playing it under the eye line, which is really good. He'll need to do that for the first 2 overs as they continue to manoeuvre this new ball. Ooh, and right on cue, that big flashing drive comes out. But no connection, and that ends the 10th over of this Macgibbon Shield Grand Final. Trinity Willison are 2 for 16. Matt Doyle's figures looking very good so far. 2 for 5 off 5 overs. Michael Doyle, sorry.
Michael Doyle, apologies. And that was another cheetah teamwear maiden there, I believe. As Fernando will continue from the Neil Donaldson stand end. It's a fantastic day. This is truly the cricket weather that we see when we think about cricket, when we dream about cricket. This is the weather that comes to mind. Fernando charges in. And it is well left there by Mike. Flashy as always.
Yeah, Mike will just keep playing his own game. Doesn't do things by the book. He's got his own way of doing it, and it's very effective. And he'll need to do it again today. Well avoided there by Mike. One a little bit shorter. Has no interest in playing it, gets well out of the way of it. And a leading edge, and it's popped up and gone to mid-on. And that's the 3rd wicket for Northcote here. The big wicket of Mike Sparks. Caught at mid-on, and he's out. He has to depart. 3 for 16. As Northcote continue to have some words to say on the hill as these batsmen come off the ground.
Yeah. It's unfortunate there, another Tree Company wicket for Northcote. It's just the bounce and the pace. It really is troubling out there.
Yeah, I think that probably moved again off the pitch. Looked like it was sort of heading on the pads, and then that little late movement that forced the leading edge, ballooned up to mid-on. Fabian Fernando probably deserved that wicket. He's bowled really well, but it puts Trinity in a very difficult position now. 3 for 16. I know we said this a few times already, Xander, but it's like a completely different game of cricket today.
It is. Yes, I'm glad we can agree on that.
The ground has dried out. The pitch is doing all sorts of things, and these two bowlers have really bowled brilliant spells here, and they've got their team right on top. New batsman, Eddie Thwaites.
As that is a fuller ball, and that is well played there by Matt Veach. Stopped in the covers, and they leave that for a dot. Yeah, very vocal out here, both the Northcote boys and the Northcote fans. But I think that is what comes with playing a grand final. A certain cutthroat-esque nature. As Fernando comes in, and that one is hit Matt on the body.
And see every ball, the keeper in the slip walking right up to the stumps. I'm sure they've got a lot of things to say. They're really loving this at the moment. And we have had the pleasure of playing them out at Northcote last year, Xander in the twos. We got outrighted, and there were a lot of comments.
Yeah, I'm sure there were, and one of the repeat comments I'm constantly hearing out here from the cordon, their voices are travelling quite far. They're just saying, win the toss and bowl, win the toss and bowl. They're really trying to get into the heads of Trinity Willison here, as that concludes another over. A good over there for Fabian Fernando, as we check the Bendigo Bank scoreboard in the Macgibbon Shield Grand Final, and the score is 3 for 16 after 11. Eddie Thwaites facing his first ball, is well driven into the covers for a dot. Hello, commentator. Swaying camera.
Yes, apologies for those that are watching and bouncing around a little bit. Unfortunately, it's quite windy today, and it's coming from the south and causing that camera to jump up and down. I did try to stop it, but I'm not going to stand there all day, to be honest, so not sure we can do much about it. As Doyle gets his third wicket, unfortunately Eddie Thwaites has nicked one through to first slip and comfortably taken Trinity in all sorts of trouble now at 4 for 16.
Yeah, it's just more and more talky from the Northcote people. As we have a look at the camera, a good tree company wicket there. The edge to slip, a very TV cricket wicket, that one. A lot of times that gets dropped in the park cricket level, but that was well hung on to, as Eddie Thwaites has to depart, sadly. And in comes keeper batsman St. Jordan to join Matt Veach at the crease.
Well, I don't want to do a Bruce and state the bleedingly obvious here, Xander, but this is not the start that Trinity were looking for.
No, it is not. However, the game of cricket is a mysterious game, Zach. And as we've said many times, as someone has said to me many times, you know, all it takes is partnerships. One partnership can change the game here for Trinity Willison.
It'll need to be soon.
As that ball is well left there by Saint, or Sam Jordan, ST Jordan.
Yes, he's got one of my trilogy bats out there at the moment that he borrowed off me halfway through the year. He's already broken it apparently, but hopefully it's got a big score in it today. Didn't get any when I was using it. Let's see if Sam can have any more luck with it. Ball is still carrying through to the keeper at head height. Really never seen anything like this, apart from maybe our match out at Northcote last year. We were expecting it there, but it's really bouncing through here today. Maybe the Northcote boys just know how to get that bounce.
Could be something in the water over there in Northcote. As Doyle prepares to continue his fantastic spell of bowling. And Saints playing the right shot there. There is no coverage there on the leg side. He's tried to hit that one away.
You can see they're all getting up very close to him. They don't make it comfortable out there for the batsman. Get right up and close. A lot of words to say. Keeper walks in 20 metres every ball. Make sure he can be heard by the batsman. Nothing fun being out there against this Northcote team.
No, I would not be enjoying this. As that is a fantastic shot that has been hit away for 6, and that has bounced into the tennis courts. A big bad shepherd boundary, 6 runs, and perhaps a new set of strings for the tennis players down there.
That was a brilliant shot by Saint. You're going to need plenty more of those, but he's just gone with the angle that came onto the pads, and he's used it and flicked it over deep backward square leg for 6 runs. That's a lovely shot. Hopefully that can get him going here. Moves Trinity into the 20s. At the end of the over, they are 4 for 22. Shot of the morning, that one.
That was the Oban Hotel shot of the morning. Had a big one last night. Sorry, listeners. But I was talking to everyone about how excited I was for today's grand final. I could see a couple of them around the grounds. They're catching the 109 tram into the wonderful suburb of Balwyn.
Fernando is continuing here. They might just bowl him out. He's bowling great spell. You know, if they can get another wicket here, they're really going to be into that middle and lower order of Trinity. I think it's worth doing. He's bowling his 7th over here. Fuller, slower one. Driven down the ground, stopped by mid-on for no run.
Yes, we apologise for the camera bobbling around. However, a quick solution is if you have a trampoline, perhaps watch it on your trampoline.
One of the Northcote players there just asking the Trinity boys that are batting whether they delete the frog box footage if they lose. I can confirm that that absolutely does not happen, Xander, because we just want to listen to ourselves on repeat.
That is true, and quite frankly, that is a wide there. Sorry to interrupt my train of thought, but I'd like to think that they'd like to hear us talk as well.
Well, I think they'll be watching the replay at the moment. They're right on top here. These two batsmen really have to get Trinity through to at least the drinks break here. If they can be 4 down at the drinks break, at least give them something to launch with in the second half.
As Matt Veach has swung at that one, it is up. There are 3 players there. And that has been held onto, and Matt Veach has to depart. It is another Tree Company wicket for Northcote as Matt Veach departs. Zach, it's not looking too good, is it?
No. Poor timing there on my words. Unfortunately, Matt Veach has to depart here. As we'll keep saying this, they're happening a lot, but the Northcote fans with a lot more to say at every wicket. So Michael Doyle unfortunately wins the family battle there, Xander.
He does. It comes into bowl. That one hitting rather high on the bat, and it was guided 2 point for a dot there by Saint.
Joining Saint at the non-strikers end will be David A. McKenna.
He can hit the ball. Well, he does when I bowl to him. As that is well flicked away again to the vacant fine leg region, and that will go for 4 runs. A bad chip and boundary there for 4.
That's a really nice shot, and I like the tactic here from Saint. Anything that strays onto the pads, he's trying to work around the corner there and get away for a boundary. He's got to go hard at those ones. They need to score runs here as well, and I think that's the safest shot here. Wait for the ones on the pads. Try to use the pace and get it away into that vacant leg side gap, and he's done that twice now. He's moved into double figures. Trinity still have a lot of work to do here.
Well, the young fella.
Doyle continuing from the White Horse Road end, but starts with the one that's strayed outside off for a wide.
It's a fantastic spell of bowling here. Fernando 2 for 16 off 7 with 2 cheated Tingway maidens, and Doyle 3 for 12 off 6.1. He must have been dreaming to have a performance like this in a grand final.
For sure. That one is fuller on the pads, and Dave helps it around the corner. That's going very close to the boundary, and it makes it. Dave off the mark with a 4. Very nice shot there. I'm really liking this tactic here. Anything that strays on the pads, use the gaps on the leg side. They're going to have to score that way.
Yeah, I think that is the really smart choice here, because any full balls eliminates the troubling bounce that we have seen. And given there is no coverage there, and they still haven't put anyone to cover up the fine leg region, so it is the right shot. It is the good shot choice to make. As he prepares to face up again. And that is really well left.
As we go around the grounds again and check in on the Burt Shield Grand Final, Mount Waverley Catholics have made their way up to 2 for 38. They need 36 more runs off 18 overs, so 2 and over, which is more than what they're going at. So they're going to have to increase the run rate a little bit. The star couple of bowlers at the moment, De Silva finishes 8 overs. He had 5 maidens for 2. What a performance.
Wow, that is, I would not let anyone walk past me without telling them my figures if I bowled like that in a grand final. Quite frankly, if I took it a wicket in the grand final, I'd be giving them the same treatment. As I said many times yesterday, you know, the low totals are kind of hard to chase. Nothing is given, as that is another dot ball.
Gee, there was a worrying moment there for me. I thought he might have feathered that one, but just eludes the bat through the keeper. I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. This has been a phenomenal opening partnership of bowling here.
Yeah, it really has, and I'll second you on that. It's been hard to score off as he prepares to run in again. That one beats the bat. They've been right on the money here today, these opening two bowlers.
They have. Their performance with the ball has been a lot better than the chat performance by the Hill. A few comments, but nothing really to write home about.
It is a gentleman's game after all. Supposed to run in again. And he hits that. And he has been caught. There's another Tree Company wicket. That is number 4 for Doyle. As Dean McKenna falls. Trinity Willison not looking in a good position, are they?
No, it's disappointing. Dave McKenna has to depart and Trinity lose their 6th wicket. There's been a little tinker in the order here. Tom R. Clark has been moved up to number 8. He'll need to give himself probably 10 overs here to get through and then try to capitalise late, but it's going to be an uphill battle from here.
Fernando will be bowling his last over of the spell. A fantastic spell of bowling by him here. Comes in. And that is well left. Well bowled again. His execution has been wonderful today. Both these opening bowlers have been bowling wonderfully here. It's hard to score.
It is hard to score, and Doyle's just in that last over picked up his 3rd wicket on the last ball of an over.
History never repeats. I usually tell myself that before I go to sleep, however, seems I've been wrong. As he's dug one in a little bit shorter.
Sam's done well there. He's just ducked right underneath it. Doesn't want to have a bar of that. There are a couple of junior teams in action for Trinity today as well. The 16As are playing just around the corner, Deep Dean Park. They've got themselves up to a reasonably competitive total. They're 9 for 141. Top score there was O Sparks, who made 27, and then contributions in the double figures for quite a few batsmen. But they've put enough on the board. They'll have something to defend to. And unfortunately, the 12As who were playing at Frog Hollow this morning were defeated by 8 wickets by Glen Iris.
There's another short one, but that is a fantastic shot. Hitting away into that vacant area again. Bowling a short one with no protection out there.
Well, they can afford to be attacking here and leave that leg side open. But Sam's done a good job of getting them away any time that they've strayed onto that pad or body region, and that's another nice shot.
Fernando goes in again. That one is a wide.
It is a wide. I think Sam thought about trying to knock that one around the corner as well, but he'll just take the extra run. He's moved his way up to 14 off 10. He's played 3 very nice shots for boundaries. He's going to need a lot more. Times it by 10, I'd say.
If your maths is correct, which it usually is, as Fernando comes in and he bowls that outside off stump. Well left there by Sam Jordan.
Looking really good here, Sam.
Early picks of man of the match, Zach. You'd have to look at Fernando.
Yeah, well, there's 2 options. Fernando, I think, would be the heavy favourite at the moment. He smashed 55 off 22 and he's picked up 2 wickets in his spell here today. The other option obviously being Doyle, he's bowled 7 overs, 4 for 16. And of course in the first innings, Ruben Blackmore-Moore made a very good 60 to really set that platform for his brother captain and Fabian Fernando to come in and hit those runs at the end. And that concludes Fernando's fantastic spell. He's put them in a winning position. He's bowled his 8 overs, 2 for 21, and Trinity Willison after 15 are 6 for 37.
As Doyle will bowl his last over. I think this is the right call made by the captain. A fast bowler doesn't like to be taken off when they're in form.
Yeah, and they've really dragged the game into Northcote's favour here, and makes sense while the ball's doing what it's doing to make the most of it, and it's worked. They've got the 6 wickets.
Tom Clark, TR Clark, is facing now.
Fair to say he's got a job to do.
I agree with that statement, Zach. I really do. Plenty of time still left in this game, though.
There is. He'll have to get himself in and then hope that the change bowlers bring a few more opportunities to score. Obviously, with the bounce these two are getting, they're the most dangerous bowlers. It'll be interesting to see if they go with spin or continue with meds with the next 2 bowlers, but we're going to see 2 new bowlers at once over the next couple.
It will be interesting to see. What would you do if you're in this situation as the captain?
Well, I'd probably go with at least 1 spinner. I think it's worth a go here. They do have a lot of spinners as well. I would be very surprised if they didn't go with at least 1 spinner. And if they've got another one that can bowl meds, if they can get any sort of bounce like these two have got, it'd be probably worth continuing.
Thank you for your insights there, Captain.
Could probably roll them down at this point. Hopefully I can cause a bit of a jinx here and get this game turned. Can't see any way Northcote can lose from here, Xander.
No, and I think rolling would still, given the condition of the pitch, it'd probably still bounce. Maybe once or twice.
They're home, I'm calling it. They can't be beaten from here, Northcote. I'm going all out, trying to get Trinity back into the game.
Really well played there by Tom Clark. And Zach, you'd hate to have your previous comments taken out of context, wouldn't you?
Yes, I'm going with the old jinx for anyone that didn't understand. Calling them home and hoping that something goes astray.
As Doyle ends a fantastic spell of bowling, grand final or not. 8 overs, 4 for 16. He'll be happy with himself.
He sure will. Can't complain with that whatsoever. As we've said, the bounce that those 2 opening bowlers were getting was really troubling the batsmen. Jack and Nick did a good job for the first 5 or 6 overs to hang in there, but then once they lost the first wicket, it just started to go astray for Trinity.
As we have a change in the bowling with a new bowler replacing Fernando from the Neil Donaldson stand end.
So it is a medium pacer from this end. It is the captain, Vivian Blackmore-Moore, coming on to bowl. Looks like the new trilogy bat might have completely broken now, unfortunately. I'll have to take a bit of responsibility for that. That handle has fully gone. And 12th man David Hook is bringing out a replacement. It's unfortunate because that bat had some boundaries in it early.
Yeah, look, might have to oil it up and then frame it somewhere in your house or in Saint's house. We have to discuss who scored more runs with that bat. But I do think that it's unfortunate to see a piece of wood like that meet its demise.
Well, it's quite new, so I think we'll be taking it back and getting a new handle on it. I don't know what it is about the ones, boys, but they go through bats at a very fast rate for some reason. I'm not sure if it's the hardness of the pitch at Froggy, but they do seem to go through bats and break bats very regularly, and unfortunately another one's gone there at the expense of me.
Well, apparently that's what happens when you score a lot of runs, Zach.
Yeah, wouldn't know about that.
The Saint looking comfortable now. Plays that one very well. For a dot.
It's like a very skillful cricketing family, these Blackmore Moors.
Yeah, it really is a family sport. As that one gets hit over his head, and we have two chasing after it, and they come back for two. It's well played.
It was a nice bunt down the ground by Sam Jordan. I like this tactic here. He's not just going to defend, he's going to look to score here. They need to get the scoreboard ticking as well, even though they're 6 wickets down. But I like the attacking method here.
As he plays that one to mid wicket for another dot there. As I look around the ground, I can see behind me future club legend Liam O'Connor, who dropped by yesterday as well after a heartbreaking loss this morning in 12 A's.
Yes, unfortunately Liam got run out for the 7th time this year. He's had some partner issues, and unfortunately that attacking method from Sam has come unstuck there, and Trinity lose their 7th wicket.
We have a change in the bowling from the far end, and I believe, as you said, they will bring on a spinner to change things up a little bit.
They will. I believe this is another one of the Blackmore Moors. Not sure which one yet. Could be Kiki.
So we have some spin from the White Horse Road end. There's a dot to start. And that one, no shot offered, so they will not be running on that. As we are waiting for an update to my create. We are getting nothing yet.
This is K Blackmore Moore. It's a bowl.
It's a good eye from you, Zach, as Tom Clark blocks that one out.
He's got 20 wickets for the year, at an average of 15 best figures for the season, 6 for 7.
6 for 7. Wow. As Tom tries to paddle that around the corner. They do now have a 45 in play.
That 6 for 7 came against St Paul's off 6.5 overs. What figures? That was a bit shorter and tried to pull away from Tom Clark. Couldn't connect on it. Another dot.
As Tom paddles that one away, and they go through for a single. They've gone a single there. As we return from a Auburn Hotel break in the commentary, Tom Clark, I think, connects on that one. That is going a long way, isn't it?
It is, and you know, I think at this point, 7 for 40, you may as well go down swinging. It hasn't been Trinity's day. I think you can credit the bowling. They've really earned these wickets, Northcote. And Tom's trying to get a few away here.
As Blackmore Moore comes into bowl. And Tim doesn't look happy with that. But there's another Tree Company wicket for Northcote, and
Looks pretty unhappy with that decision there. Maybe it flicked the pad, but unfortunately Tim has to go. It's the 8th wicket for Northcote. They've really bowled a perfect innings of cricket here. Can't take anything away from them. I think basically every wicket is due to some really good bowling, and the pressure's been on for every ball.
in comes Dempanopoulos to bat. These luscious locks.
He shot over mid-on by Tom Clark. Didn't beat the fielder by that much in the end, but he's come back for 2 runs. Tom's going to continue to swing here, and I like it.
Yeah, I think that is all we have to do now. You know, you got to maximise the time you get to play with your mates before what will be a long off season, I think.
Yeah, there's no playing for the draw here. I like the fact that Tom's still trying to score.
That is well blocked, defended. There, it's quite well done.
This is a very talented Northcote team. They've come up from 2 grades below, then 1 grade below, and now in Macgibbon, in their first year in Macgibbon, they've gone from winning Burt to looking like the premiers here in Macgibbon. It's been an amazing story. Big appeal for LB, and it's been given. Kiki gets a wicket, Tom Clark has to go. Out LBW, and unfortunately this game is very quickly coming to a close. I don't think we'll hang around too long afterwards, Xander.
No, I think I'll be in the first car I can get into to wherever we're going to the next destination. But that brings in the captain, Jake. So can we see some magic happening here?
We do joke about how Jake's the best batsman at the club. He's got a lovely technique, great drive shot. Don't think I've ever got him out in the nets. He just plays me like I bowl underarm at him. He's a great batsman, and he's going to need to make a few today. Just 170 more to get in 21 overs. You never know.
That is true. It is. The game of cricket is quite mystical, as we've said many times, and I've seen crazy things happen.
Not many crazier things.
Not many crazier things.
It's getting pretty damn crazy at the moment.
It is. It is getting to the fantasy realm, but I have seen crazy things happen.
Despite today, the Trinity boys should be very proud of their season. They finished on top of the ladder. Only lost a couple of games, and it hasn't been their day today, but they have come up against an incredible Northcote team here in this bowling performance. They've really deserved it. We thought early when we saw that bounce coming through it was going to be a tough day, and once they got a couple of early wickets, it's really happened very quickly.
Yeah, it's the early execution of the plan was fantastic, and looks like they might enjoy winning this premiership here, as Jake leaves that one quite well. And that concludes the over as we check the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. And there are plenty of runs to get, not many wickets left in the sheds.
Big drive there by Dem first ball. He won't die wondering. I think as we get towards the end of this game, Xander, we should make a few thank yous.
Yes, it's been a fantastic season, and especially with COVID and everything, I think the club's really done well to let us, thrive and do what we'd like to do. So we have to thank our sponsors for that as well. So we'd like to thank Bendigo Bank. We have Bad Shepherd, Back in Motion, Auburn Hotel, Cheetah Teamwear for providing us with fantastic clothing. Especially yesterday, it was cold. I was loving being snugged up in my jacket and my hoodie. We have the Tree Company.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning the ECA as well to get this season up and going. Make it a 14 round one-day competition. They did a great job to get us started in November. We've really enjoyed this season. I think from a Trinity point, I'd like to thank the President, Andrew Hind, as well as Treasurer Cal Jackson / John Hearn, and also the coach John Graves. They've all put a lot of work into the season, as well as the committee who make this club tick. There's 1 wicket left to get here. It's been a great season for these ones, boys. I know they'll be very disappointed today, but they should be very proud of what they've achieved. That one's full, big appeal, not given.
Damn, he hits that one. You know, I've seen him hit that one many times over my head. It doesn't make it easy for me when I bowl to him in the backyard.
That was a nice shot there by Dem. Got onto some nice drives in that over. These two are hanging around. ECA continuing from the White Horse Road end. 1 wicket to get. And Jake has been caught at slip, and that concludes the Macgibbon Shield Grand Final. Northcote are victors by 155 runs. Congratulations to Northcote. They are the 2020-21 Macgibbon Shield Premiers. Thanks to our umpires. Thanks for joining us here today on Frogbox. Xander, we'll be back in October.
We will be back in October. We'll be taking a long Davino Sellers drinks break until then. Thank you to our sponsors again. Thank you to everyone paying attention. And best of luck and good health to everyone.
And one last thank you. The last person, but probably most important in terms of the coverage, is Peter McCauley and the Frogbox crew for getting these cameras up and the mics so that we could put on this grand final. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.